Alright, welcome back everybody. So we just got done making some kindling out there in the wood shed, getting ready for the next couple days. I think it's going to get cold enough where I'm going to have to start a fire. But I wanted to make a video here going over my DS stove. This is a Cozy King 300. I had an email there last week from a woman, and she wanted me to go over like what the parts do, how I have it set up, and so we're going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so first thing, whenever you start your fire, I like to leave a little bit of ash in there. That makes it easier. But I want you to, if you can see, there's a hood there in the back, and there's a hood up here in this front corner. And whenever the fan, which I'll show you here in a second, whenever that kicks on, that's where it's blowing the air out. And you'll want to have that set for blowing the air on top whenever you're burning wood, not from the bottom. That's how you burn coal, from the bottom. And once the face of this stove gets up to around 200, that's when it normally kicks on the blower to go up through the ductwork. And then of course down here we have our ash cleanout, which I could use to do it, looks like. And it's got a tray that pulls out, and that's what I normally do. Just I take the tray out and then dump it and then put it back in. It don't have to be perfectly clean down in there. And this is your shaker for shaking out the ash inside. You would use that more for coal. I don't ever use it for wood. So here's the pipe coming out of the stove, going to the chimney. Normally this will run between 200 and 300. On the front of the stove, whenever you get a good fire, it's best to have it around 300 to 400. That's a good hot fire in that stove. You're not making any creosote that way. So here's a question I get asked a lot, is how is your return ductwork hooked into the blower box? And that's all it is. It's just this big round pipe. That's how they set me up, and it just goes into the return up here. This is the blower that will blow the hot air through the ductwork. So that's the cold air return right here, and then that's what's blowing up through the rest of the house. So there's a fan in here, and of course this is your filter, the switch out. And then you have your control for the draft blower, which is this fan right here. And if you look there, that's all the more I have the little shield here open. If you need more, you can always open it. So with this draft blower, this is blowing air into the stove box where the firewood is. And if you can see this right here, this little lever, you push in for wood, that's where it's at, and then you pull out for coal. And what that does, like I said before, if it's in, it's going to blow air in from the top through those little hoods that I showed you. And then if you pull out, it's going to blow the air from up underneath. And that's what a coal fire needs, air from underneath. So I'm burning wood, push that in. Okay, so this is your fan and limit control box. And I took the cover off, and if you see right here, it says push for manual, pull for auto, and that's where normally this white knob sticks out of there. Okay, so if you pull for auto, nothing's going to happen, but if you push for manual, it's going to turn it on. Watch. So that just turned the blower on, blowing the air in the ductwork. Let me pull this back out. Back in auto. So, right now, my house is 67 degrees. And I have it set for 65. Just so that it doesn't kick on while I'm filming right now. So how this box and this draft blower work together is, right now I have it set, my thermostat, for 65. My house is 67. If I would set it to 68, that's going to tell this draft blower that I need heat. So it's going to kick on and blow air into the stove, trying to make the stove hotter. Whether you have a fire or not, it's going to try to do that. And so once the stove gets hot enough, the thermostat here will turn and then eventually kick on this draft blower, or this blower here for the ductwork, sorry. The blower for the ductwork, it'll kick that on, and now you're moving heat and then bringing the cold air back and circulating air throughout your house. That's how these two boxes and this draft blower work together, and they do a really good job at keeping it even. Okay, so this morning my house is 65, so I'm gonna put that to heat, and that will kick on the draft blower on the stove. Okay, so to take the chill out of the house this morning, we're going to start a fire here. And you just saw I turned on my thermostat to heat, and I've got it set right now for 67. I think I'm going to raise it up to about 68, 69, and my draft blower is running, so it's calling for air to heat up the stove. So now all I have to do is start up a fire. Okay, the fire's starting to take off pretty good here. But I had, in that email that woman sent me, she asked about the knobs here on the front. And if I open them or leave them open, I normally keep them shut, because you're getting your air from your draft blower. Now, if you want to start your fire up a little bit quicker, open these up just a little bit. You don't have to go very much. And I mean, I don't know if you can see the gap. That's all the more I got it. But then after your blower kicks on for your ductwork, I shut them. That way your fire will last longer. And then another thing I'll do, instead of using these knobs to get the fire going, I will open up this door just a crack, just to get that airflow to go through there quicker, to heat up the stove a little bit faster, and get your airflow going up through the chimney. Okay, so while we're waiting for the stove to heat up, what I like to do with the air filter, I'll leave the dirty one in there, and then let it run one time the next season to get all the dust out of your ductwork and try to catch that, and then I'll pull it up and replace it after that. And this one's pretty dirty. I've had worse. Yeah, it's pretty dirty. That needed replaced. Perfect. To see the arrow, you want that facing towards your blower, because you're taking the cold air from the cold air return pipe here, putting it through the box and then back up through your ductwork. Okay, so right down here on this side is that hood I was talking about, and that blows air out from the bottom. So I always like to keep that clear right there. That way the air can blow whenever it's needed, whenever the stove calls for more air. And then the one on the back as well. Oh yeah. Yeah, we got a nice hot fire. I'm actually surprised the main blower hasn't kicked on yet. We're almost up to 300 on the front, which is where we want to be. We're just still heating up the back of the stove. I got the fire on the front mostly. There it is. Okay, main blower is on, and now we are heating up the house. And like I said, as long as this thermometer stays hot, it'll keep running the main blower. Once the stove cools off, it'll start kicking off here and there, and that lets you know it's time to add some more wood. Okay, so that's a little overview of the stove. I'll try to show you how it all works together. Hopefully that helps you out. But I've liked this stove since we've had it. The only issue we had was last year we started getting cracks in it again, and that was the second time. So what they ended up doing is replacing it, and ever since then we've had no issues. And I really like the stove because of the good burn times that you get out of it, and it keeps this old farmhouse warm. You know, if you enjoyed this video and if you want to see more like this, I do have another project coming up which I'll show you on this stove. I have this coil, and what this coil does, you take a plate off here in the back and you put it inside here on the side, and what you do, you bring your inbound water here to the top and then outbound water out the bottom, and what it does, that water goes through there and warms up, and you can send it straight to your water heater, and the water's already preheated. So I'd like to get to that sometime this winter. We'll see. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give us a thumbs up, and until next time, everybody, thanks for watching. Hey friends, did you enjoy that last video? If you did, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. That way you can get notified every time we post a video. And while you're there, be sure to check out our playlist and our store for some awesome farmhouse merch. We appreciate every single one of you. Thank you.